Hello and welcome to the Publish with Purpose Virtual Summit. I'm Tara Alamani, and I am here today with Mark Leslie Lefebvre from Draft2Digital. And we're really excited to have them as a silver sponsor of the summit this year. And so we just wanted to kind of welcome Draft2Digital and Mark and thank them for their participation. So thank you, Mark. It's so great to
Thank you
have you
so
as a part
much,
of
Tara.
this.
Oh, thanks so much, Tara. It's great to be a part of Publish with Purpose.
So, can you give us an idea a little bit more about what Draft2Digital is all about?
Sure. So basically, Draft to Digital is about enabling writers to have more time to do the things that are the most important for the writing business, which is writing more books. And so our goal is to try to find the pain points in the publishing process that take away from that, such as how to get their ebook made and processed, how to get it distributed out into the world, and other little things along the way. Anytime we find that there's an issue that's going to hold them back, if we can remove that resistance, if we can remove those barriers for authors and allow them a free service that can take care of those things, they can choose to use one or more of those services for their ebook a plan for basically their author success plan. And the way that our program works is we don't take any money up front. So what we do is we take a small portion of their sales. So if they decide to use us for any of the distribution platforms, we just take a small share out of those sales, and that way we're only successful when our authors are finding their own success.
And one of the things that I love about it is for years I'd used Smashwords previously, and Draft2Digital's interface just makes it so easy to get your book up there. So not only do you not have the expense, but the UI, the user interface just is straightforward, simple. You know what you're looking for and can get it there. So that's been great. I know that Draft2Digital and Smashwords are merging. So can you give us just a sneak peek as to where we're at with that and what to expect in the future?
Sure. So the CEO of Smashwords, Mark Coker, was a pioneer in the industry. He was the first out there to make an easy process, an easy solution for authors to get their books, published to the Smashwords store and distributed. The CEO of Draft2Digital, Chris Austin, had a similar goal, similar vision. So the two companies in parallel had been doing the same things, and they got to chatting because, again, we were very collaborative in our approach, both companies. We really just wanted to work with authors, work with retailers and libraries, and work with each other to try and help authors. And when we realized that we were dedicating development resources in parallel to solve the same problems, the question was, what would happen if we came together to double down, and maybe we could get more things produced for authors. Maybe we could, it would take less time to get the development done if we kind of merged forces. So we did that officially in March of 2022, and the goal is basically to try to get the authors into a single system that benefits from the best of both worlds. Like there are platforms that Smashwords distributes to that Draft2Digital doesn't, and vice versa. And then also leveraging that to get everyone into the Draft2Digital ecosystem for publishing, but then also to properly leverage the Smashwords store at smashwords.com, which is actually available globally in way more markets than Amazon, and is technically the world's largest online bookstore of indie author titles, and leverage that to help push and market and promote more indie authors than ever before.
That's wonderful. We've definitely been using Smashwords for years and loved adding Draft2Digital to the stable of tools that we use. And so it's going to be neat. When do we need to, when can we stop uploading to both of them? Do you know when that is?
Well, the goal is initially Draft2Digital authors will be able to push a button to get their stuff into the Smashwords store. The next phase is getting Smashwords authors into the Draft2Digital ecosystem. And I would just advise authors potentially continue to publish the way you're most comfortable publishing. We will incorporate things like the meat grinder. There are authors who love Smashwords meat grinder conversion process that will be incorporated into Draft2Digital to give authors a choice. But again, the Draft2Digital interface is designed to be slick and intuitive, and so again, the best of both those worlds. And it's going to take a long time. This is not going to happen overnight. It's a lot of work. The development teams have started several months ago on phase one of that project, and we will reach out to our authors at both Smashwords and Draft2Digital, advising them on what the next step is. And in many cases, for people like me who have books from both Smashwords and Draft2Digital, it will be a look at Okay, here are your books. This is the status of book A on Smashwords and book A on Draft2Digital. Tell us what you want for this title. Tell
Mhm.
us what you want for the other titles. So if there's patterns we can do to, enable that easily for authors with hundreds of titles, that's great. In some cases, an author only has one title here, one title there. So again, it's not going to be quick or simple, but we will advise and include and inform authors every step of the way so that, as always, they can be the ones in control and in charge of how they'll end up publishing going forward.
Well, I just love seeing how this merger is going. I know, I recently had to upload one to Smashwords because I'd already uploaded to Draft2Digital, and we always do both. And even just, the influence in this year has been significant. The user interface on Smashwords was much simpler.
Yes.
I didn't have to go create a ghost profile because I was able to do it as part of the upload process, so that was kinda neat. So lots of good things there. So I'd
Yeah,
like to ask.
the other good thing I want to add there,
Okay.
just because you mentioned that, is the Smashword store is one of the few platforms that actually saw an increase in sales during this last 6 to 9 tumultuous months, where book sales seem to be down across the board. There was growth at the Smashword store.
Oh, that's neat to know. So I'd like to ask one last question, and that is, why did Draft to Digital decide to sponsor the Publish with Purpose Virtual Summit?
Thanks. That's a great question. So we're always on the lookout for how can we engage, interact, and be part of different author communities. We feel like everyone knows about us, but we're continuing to discover that there's so many authors that just aren't aware of these great free tools that are available to them. So obviously, when we saw what you're doing with Publish with Purpose Press, we wanted to be a part of that community. We wanted to be able to engage with you and with the community of authors you're bringing together, so that we can just be part of the information and inspiration that you're providing to authors. So thanks for allowing us this opportunity to sponsor your virtual summit, and again, collaboratively we can help more authors.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do, Mark, and Draft to Digital, and thank you to the attendees for listening in on our little interview, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.